There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, it's probably in Tennessee. It says that everything that Trump touches dies. And another thing, conservatives generally aren't very good at art, like at all. Their biggest artistic powerhouses are Kid Rock and a guy named Forgiato Blow. Wow, what masterminds of artistic dominance. You're looking at the voices of a generation. But seriously, the reason why conservatives generally suck at making art is because generally art is for the empathetic, the expressive, those with souls. Trump's atrocious vibes are enough to turn off any artist, like miles away, and working with Trump would probably be career suicide. As a proud thespian myself, I know that those in the performing arts tend not to be too thrilled to work with Nazis, hence works like Cabaret, which you imagine Trump would have seen since he allegedly wanted to become a theater producer in his youth, before turning to a life of crime and evil. Such many cases, I'm sure. And now that he's playing dictator, he's decided to appoint himself the head of the Kennedy Center, single-handedly crashing the long-standing institution's reputation, as well as its balance sheet. If you like this kind of news that shows Trump's failures up front and in horrific detail, subscribe to Really American and let me know what fruit you would throw at Trump on stage at the Kennedy. Me, I'm going with the classic tomato. Here's the headline from the Washington Post. Kennedy Center subscription sales fall 36% from previous year. By this point in 2024, the center had generated $4.4 million in revenue from selling subscriptions to its theater, dance, classical, and other seasons of performance. This year, it has generated $2.6 million as of June 1st. The sales data was collected and shared by former Kennedy Center employees and confirmed by a current staff member, who spoke on the condition of anonymity out of fear of retribution. A lot of that going around recently. We understand providing information like this can be seen in a bad light, the current staffer said in a message, but we feel it is necessary to show that mismanagement by new leadership is becoming a real problem for the health of the organization, the employees said, because the new leaders have overlooked staff opinions and fired some who disagreed. We feel we no longer have a choice but to force complete transparency with the public. Here is the chart that shows that the subscription sales for the 24-25 season, which was before Trump, is almost $1 million more for theater specifically. Now don't be fooled, Trump sending the entire institution into a nosedive isn't going to stop him from using the Kennedy Center as his own personal live theater. You may not know this about your president, but his favorite musical is Les Mis. Also, his favorite candy is Tootsie Rolls. I hate that I know that, but now you do too. He loves Les Mis so much that he had the Army Choir perform Do You Hear the People Sing for him earlier this year, which is incredibly ironic considering it's a protest song against the tyranny of a king, which Trump has dreams of becoming. But next weekend, he's going to be visiting the Kennedy Center for the first time ever since he took it over, to the chagrin of the performers, the insiders, and subscribers of the Kennedy Center alike. He's already taken swipes and got into a very public spat with the creator of the insanely popular musical Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who canceled the national tour's stop at the Kennedy Center due to Trump's hostile takeover. Trump said, "I never liked Hamilton very much," which isn't too surprising. I'm sure there's way too many brown people on stage for him. When he was a young man, Mr. Trump had dreams of one day becoming a Broadway producer himself, the path that we all so desperately wish he chose. Now, he said, the Kennedy Center's focus would be on producing Broadway hits. "We're going to be doing some very good shows," he said. Well, the performance that Trump will be seeing might be on opening night, but it won't have the bulk of the main cast. At least 10 of the musical's cast members will not be participating in protest of Trump attending, the type of boycott that did not go over well with Trump's lackey, who's the new head of the center, Mr. Grinnell. Cast members were reportedly given the option to opt out of the June 11th show. The production had not publicly identified which individuals will not be performing. It is going to be hilarious when Trump opens up that program, and it is just stuffed full with understudy cards because none of the cast showed up. In a statement shared with The Guardian, Grinnell said that those at the Kennedy Center haven't heard this rumor. He added that the center will no longer fund intolerance. Any performer who isn't professional enough to perform for all patrons of all backgrounds, regardless of political affiliation, won't be welcomed. Grinnell continued, "In fact, we think it would be important to out those vapid and intolerant artists to ensure producers know who they shouldn't hire, and that the public knows which shows have political litmus tests to sit in the audience. Dude, you're going to see Les Mis, a musical, the gayest art form in America. That already is a political litmus test for whose ass is going to be in the seats. I have been in countless shows, and it is nothing but progressives and members of the LGBTQ community on stage. There's absolutely no way that the public already doesn't know the political litmus test that is theater, and that producers are going to punish performers for standing up to Trump." Trump had previously posted on social media expressing his desire to eliminate drag shows and woke content from the venue, but did not clarify which productions he was targeting. "I have horrible news for you, Trump. It's all woke. It's drag shows all the way down. I, for one, can't wait for Trump's appearance at the Kennedy Center. We all know that the funniest things ever happen when presidents go to the theater. Like when Vice President J.D. Vance went to the Kennedy Center earlier this year and was viciously booed."
He just ruined, they ruined this place. Boo!
Oh, I love the guy recording this video, man. He's so angry about it, telling his wife, no, he deserves it. He ruined this place. Ugh, I can't wait for Trump to show his face at this place. And one last art thing that I wanted to put on y'all's radar was this piece from Politico about Trump's next 4th of July disaster. It seems like he's gotten intimidated/inspired by China's terracotta warriors and decided that he wants to commission 250 life-sized statues of famous American legends. Now, this is a ways away because we're talking about 2026, not next month, but this plan is being called completely unworkable. Trump's calling it the Nation Garden of American Heroes, and Daniel Knutz, the editor of Sculpture magazine, says it seems completely unworkable. It's nothing if not ambitious. The plan is to unveil 250 life-sized statues in time for the nation's 250th birthday. Having decimated large chunks of the federal art bureaucracy, it's going to be something very extraordinary, Trump told a White House audience in February. We're going to produce some of the most beautiful works of art. Unfortunately, the schedule all but guarantees something less than awesome, splendid, or timeless. The fine print forbids abstract or modernist statues, and the biggest collection of artisans and fabricators working in Trump's preferred old-school realist style turns out to be in China, not the US. You'd be flooding the capacity of artists in this country who do that kind of stuff and the capacity of foundries, said Dylan Furnham, who for years has worked at Walla Walla Factory, a fine art powerhouse that is one of the best regarded facilities in America. There are places where you can really whip some stuff off. They can do it in China. Many U.S. fine art foundries are booked anywhere from 6 to 18 months in advance. One wag likened Trump's project to a government-run version of Madame Tussauds wax museum, possibly enticing to tourists, but by no means awe-inspiring. And then there's the location of the garden. There isn't one. The plan calls for a suitable place to be identified. That hasn't happened yet, though the governor of South Dakota offered a spot in the Black Hills near Mount Rushmore, which I'm sure the Native Americans in that area are gonna love that, just like they love Mount Rushmore. Funny enough, he wants to include Alex Trebek, who's a Canadian. But all too typical of our era of permanent culture war, the political fury has distracted attention from the basic logistics of the plan, and from the question of whether the end product would, as a simple matter of aesthetics, be worthy of a great country. In the fine arts world, the answer to that latter question seems to be nope. It doesn't seem to be very serious, Knutz said. It's sort of trolling. God, that's crazy. It's a circus mentality, and he's a showman, said Ken Lum, a sculptor and University of Pennsylvania professor who has created major public monuments in the naturalist style. For a lot of people going to Mount Rushmore, there will be public bathrooms and concession stands and souvenirs, and you can have your picture taken with Babe Ruth or MLK or whatever. I mean, I couldn't have put it better myself. Trump is a circus master. He's a showman, a con man. He's what happens when you don't punish scams and cults hard enough in a civilized society. He knows nothing about how to make art, and he's got the taste of a 1980s mob wife. Before he leaves office, if he ever does leave office, he's going to find a way to put a big golden Trump on the White House. Just mark my words. I'm Tony Hinderman with Really American, and I'll catch you next time.